Welcome students to the third part of iterative statements in Python, where we are going to discuss certain basic programs based on for loop just to illustrate the working of for loop in Python programs. So the first question is, write a program to print natural numbers from 10 to 25. So here you can see that you have to do a repetitive task of printing natural numbers but between 10 to 25. Okay, you know that natural numbers start from 1, but the question says print them from 10 to 25. So for this we make use of for function for statement. So what I do, I wrote for z in range 10 comma 26. Now why 26 over here? See, the reason is, you know that range function produces the values in the range from start to stop but excluding stop. So 25 is not going to be included if I write here 25. So that is why I have written 10 comma 26, so that the values generated are from 10 to 25, and this way one value of the produced sequence, you know that range function will produce a sequence here containing the values from 10 to 25, and one value from this generated sequence will be assigned to z at a time, and z will be printed, and after that line change will occur. So here you can see the output. The first value is 10, then 11, 12, 13, and in this way you are finally reaching 25. If you would have straight away written 25 over here, then what will happen? You will not be getting 25 in the answer. Clear? So this is a very basic program to illustrate the purpose of for statement in Python program. Next question is, write a program to print even numbers between two numbers input by user. Now here the limits, that is the upper limit and lower limit, will be entered by user, and we have to print only even numbers within that range. So first of all I am going to take input of two numbers from user. So here you can see that input has been taken for the first number, then second number. Now see what I have done here. See children, may be possible that the value of x input by user is greater as compared to the value of y input by user. So we are basically going to move from x to y, in fact x to y plus 1, because y will not be included then. So in order to keep a small value in x and greater value in y, I have simply swapped their values only if x is found to be greater than y. So if the value of x will be greater than y, then only the swapping will take place, otherwise normally you are going to straight away enter the for loop. Now here see, I have written for z in range x plus x comma y plus 1. So this range function is going to generate numbers starting from x ending at y at the step of 1. So suppose in the output you can see I have taken the first number as 5 and second number as 20. So what this range function is going to do, it will generate 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 till 20, because y is 20. So this loop is going to run till 20. I am running this loop till 21, so that 20 also gets produced. Now each number being assigned to z is examined whether it is even or not. If it is found to be even, then the number is printed, otherwise it is not printed. So see, the values generated were 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 till 20. All the values were generated, but see, only those values got printed which are even. Okay, so this is how your for loop works or helps in this question. Then the next question is, write a program to print the sum of odd numbers starting from 3 up to the limit entered by user. So the starting point has already been given here, that is 3, and limit means the ending point has to be entered by user. So what I did here, first of all I took the limit from user, okay, and the limit is stored in x. Clear? So limit is stored in x. So the loop is going to run from 3 to x plus 1. So that x gets included. And see what I am doing here. I have kept the step as 2. Why? Because if 3 is the starting value, then the next odd value is going to be 5. Next odd value is going to be 7. Then 9. Then 11. Then 13 and so on. Okay. So since the starting point is 3, that is why I have given the step as 2. So that at each step only odd values keep on getting generated in this range function. And what will happen? Ultimately z will be getting each of these values and the values will be added to sum. Now see, initially s is taken as 0 and as soon as you get a odd number in this range, what will happen? That odd number will get added in the previous value of s, and this way this summing up of elements will keep on taking place. Okay, and finally when you will exit from the loop, sum will be stored in the variable s. So you can see here I gave the limit as 9. So the values that will be generated will be 3 to 9 at the step of 2. So 3, then 5, then 7 and 9 will also be included, because see, value of x entered by user was 9, but the loop is running till 9 plus 1, that is 10. So 9 is also included. So 3, 5, 7, 9. 4 values are there. You will add them and you will see that the result is 24. There is one more way of doing this program. See, here again the limit is asked from the user and it is stored in the variable x. Then you have again taken the variable s is equal to 0 to store the sum of odd elements. Loop is running from 3 to x plus 1. No step is specified. So this time I am not specifying a step. So what will happen? Value of a step will be 1. So the values generated by range function will be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If 9 is the limit, okay, suppose that 9 is the limit, so the values are that will be generated are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and every time value is assigned to this variable z. So z is examined. If it is not even, means it is odd, so it is added to s, otherwise not added. Okay, so if the number is found to be odd, then only it is added to s. Clear? In the beginning s will be 0, so the first odd value will be added to 0. But in the second case it will be, value of z will be 5. So and value of s will be 3. So 3 plus 5, 8. Okay, so this way the work is going to be done. Next question is, write a program to accept an integer, say n, from user and print its table in the following format. So you have to accept an integer from user. Suppose user gives 11, so you have to print the table of 11. If the user gives 51, you have to print the table of 51. Okay, and in what format? In this format. So if n is 5, then 5 into 1 is equal to 5, 5 into 2 is equal to 10. So this way you are required to give the output. So let us see how we are going to solve this program. First of all, I have taken input of the integer whose table has to be printed from user, and then I have run a loop from 1 to 11. Why? Because you know that whenever we print the table of any number, then it is from 1 to 10. You write just first 10 multiples of that number as in the form of a table. So in the same way, here I am running the loop from 1, so that it starts from 1 and goes till 10. 11 is specified here because upper limit is not included. So I gave one value extra so that the required value gets used. So 10 will this range function will generate the value from 1 to 10. Okay, and then you will get the you are getting these values. See, you want the output of the program in this format. You can see this column. So this column is the one which can be used as a loop variable because it is generating values at a particular interval, and that is 1. So that is why you can see here step is 1. Now what will happen? First of all, 1 will be assigned to I. Then see the statement here. N, value of n is, if suppose the input is 3, then 3 into has to be printed as it is. Then I value of I is 1 right now. So 3 into 1 is equal to, then here what will happen? 3 into 1, that is 3, and this line will be generated. Now you know that print function automatically changes the line as soon as it prints the assigned task. So cursor comes to the next line. Next time 2 will be assigned to I. Then what will happen? N is again 3, asterisk will be there, then 2. 2 is coming with the help of I, then equal to 3 into 2, that is 6 is printed. Then again next value will be 3. So 3 into 3 is equal to 9. This will be printed, and this way this loop is going to run. Okay, so remember that you have to run this loop one value more than the required value. So the required last value was 10. So we ran the loop till 11 because upper limit is not included. Next question is to print the following series. See children, for loops find a great application in generating a series or in generating the sum of any series or any other operation. Okay, so see here what has been done. You have to print this series. So the thing to notice here is that this is 1. Okay, 1 means 1 cube is 1. Then this one is 3 cube. Okay, this one is 5 cube. This one is 7 cube. So you are basically getting the values as 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 and so on. Okay, so what will happen? First of all, I have taken input of n from user, means till where the series has to be printed, this will be input by user. But the basic logic is 1 cube, 3 cube, 5 cube, 7 cube, 9 cube, this way. Okay, so what has been done? Value of n is taken input, then loop is running from 1 to n plus 1. So if the value is 10, then it will run till 9. So that is why if you want to include 10 also, you have to give n plus 1. And at the step of 2, why this is done? Because you need value. See what values will be generated. If n is 15, suppose n is 15, then values will be 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. Okay, so this way you want the values because see, these are the cubes of odd numbers. 1 cube, 3 cube, 5 cube, 7 cube. So the basic logic is cube of the odd number. Then one more thing you can see here, that the space between these values is tab space. So that is why they are separated using tab space. Clear? So this is how you are going to solve a particular series. Then here is the example. You can see 15 is the value input. So 127, 125, 343. Okay. So this way the work is taking place. Next question is, write a program to print the following series. Actually print the sum of the following series should be there. So here you can see a regular pattern is there. Numerator is always 1, but denominator is, if you see this term, particularly this term 1, it can be interpreted as 1 divided by x raised to power 0, because anything raised to power 0 is 1. So 1 divided by 1 will be 1 only. So this is basically x raised to power 0 here. then x raised to power 1, then x raised to power 2, x raised to power 3, 4, 5, so on. So here x and n means x is fixed, which will be input by user. N will also be input by user. But once the values are provided by user, this is how you are going to calculate the sum of the series. So remember that you are calculating sum here. So you will need a variable storing sum. Initially as 0, and then as you add elements, they will be added in S. So first of all, value of x is taken, then value of n is taken. Okay. So the loop is running from 0 to n plus 1. Why? Because the first term is 1 divided by x raised to power 0. So the loop value has to be generated from 0 to length. Okay. So suppose the value input by user for x is 2 and for n is suppose 6. So what will happen? These will be the values generated. Now first of all, I is getting 0. So 1 upon, substitute the values here, 1 upon x raised to power 0 will be calculated, and this t is getting added in the initial value of s, and that is 0. Then next time 1 will be assigned. So 1 divided by 1 x raised to power 1. Okay. Then when 2 is assigned, then 2 upon x raised to power 2. So this way, no, 1 upon x raised to power 2. So this way, every time you are going to get the term in t and you are adding it to s. Finally, when you come out of the loop, sum of the series will be printed. So these were certain important programs. You can see the output here. Enter the value of x. X has been input, n has been input, and this is the sum of the series. So children, these were certain programs which were to give you an idea as to how and in which situation you are going to need for loop in your programming. Okay. And you have seen the various ways of utilizing it. Now as you practice more questions, you will be able to get into habit of using this for loop easily. Okay. So with this I finish my lecture. Thank you so much.